Welcome back to NBA Cinema. So we're going to talk some Boston Celtics, Dallas Mavericks tonight. Now, the Mavs are down 0-2. Kyrie Irving hasn't been playing his best up to this point. So we're looking at, game three being very pivotal for them staying alive in this series. We know if it goes 0-3, they're not beating the Boston Celtics 4 games in a row. So this is an opportunity for them to crawl back into the series. And that potential new life has just been given a boost as far as Kristaps Porzingis. Now, we saw him late into that game start to labor down the court, not being able to make it fast. Checked out the game. I don't think he returned late. Now it's being announced that Kristaps Porzingis suffered a torn medial retinaculum, and that allowed a dislocation of his posterior tibialis tendon. I hope I said that right, tibialis tendon. Um, and so now Kristaps Porzingis, as we look back, we know how he came out and set the tone kind of for the series in game one. When he was inserted into the lineup, that's where the separation started to happen and they built that big lead. He came off the bench, gave him another lift in game two, and you look at his ISOs in the mid post where he just turns and shoots over the defender. Good defense. He just shoots it right down in the basket. And Jason Tatum hasn't been top tier so far in this series. So if you remove Kristaps Porzingis' production, it does even the playing field a little bit more in what looked like a very overmatched Dallas Mavericks team. So now we're gonna listen to what Joe Mazulla had to say. We're gonna listen to Kristaps Porzingis as he weighs in on his injury.
How do you explain what happened in game two to you?
Yeah, I felt something in my ankle, kept playing, but I knew something happened, and that was it. Yeah, obviously, at first I was pretty fine, and then towards the end of the game, Joe took me out, and I wasn't moving as well anymore. So that's from my perspective, and that's it. The next day, we did the MRI and all this, and we saw what happened. So now it's, as the report says, it's day to day, and I expect myself to be able to play. As we said, yeah, it's going to be day to day, and see how I am tomorrow. And obviously, I'm going to do everything I can to be out there tomorrow, and we'll see.
Are you optimistic?
I am, of course. I have to be. I'm optimistic, and as I said, I will do everything I can to be out there tomorrow, and yeah, we'll see.
What would you have to endure when it comes to that? It's just a pain threshold at this point. Can you do more damage to it if you do play in these finals?
I don't know. I don't know the specifics, but that's something I leave in the medical staff's hands to determine whether I can go or no. But from my side, like as I said, there's nothing's going to stop me unless I'm told not to or not allowed to play. So that's the only reason I will not be out there. But
Kristaps, how much of this is just kind of another thing for you? Unfortunately, you had that injury several weeks ago, and now this. Are these stacking up on your mindset, or?
No, I don't care. I mean, I've been through some stuff in my career, and obviously this is a rough patch, coming back and it's having something happen right away again. It's tough, it's very like just a tough moment right now, but feeling pretty good. Mind is good, and we'll see tomorrow.
And then just one thing, the press release said that this is unrelated to what happened in Miami. I remember that night, though, looked like first you did something to your left and then your right when you came off the court. Is it anything you've done before this injury, or?
No, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I don't know. It was kind of a random situation. It wasn't like, I was limping or something like this before that. I was good, and then this happened. So I don't think it's anything related. And I don't know either. The medical staff would know better, So it is what it is.
Is that the day you die out there to play?
Say
Does
again?
that still apply?
Yeah. No, I'm living by those words 100%. Of course.
You literally will die on the court, you think?
I mean, I hope not, but if it comes to that to win, I guess.
You guys just put out a very long release about Kristaps, who has this issue with his left leg. He also looked like he tweaked his right leg. I saw him walking in before. He's listed as day-to-day.
Yeah.
Sort of what is the procedure for the next 24 hours? He's just getting treatment, and you'll see where he's at as of tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, he's doing anything and everything he can to be ready for the game tomorrow. It's a serious injury, and at the end of the day, our team and the medical team is not going to put him in any bad situations. And so we've taken a decision to play out of his hands because the importance of him. And so he's going to do everything he can to play, and then we're going to leave it up to our medical team, and that's really it.
So that's indeed very serious, right? If the coaching staff is going to take the decision for him to play out of his hands in the NBA Finals, I don't look for him to play in Game 3 after the extended amount of time he spent recovering and out in the previous series and, throughout the playoffs, right? So Porzingis, I'm kind of ruling him out for this game. Now, I did say the Mavs received some new life, but also you could take that with a grain of salt because Luka Doncic has basically been playing on one leg. And so if that persists and Luka condition worsens and he's able to give less and less effort and maybe he has an off shooting night or whatever, that's up in the air. If you don't get the lift. Although, Luka don't jump too much on his shot, if his legs are starting to bother him, he's not gonna feel comfortable shooting the ball. But he said he got some treatment and he feels really well right now. But obviously, when you start getting up and down the court, that can change. And so they're going to need Luka, and I'm assuming that he's going to go out there and play. But if the Celtics don't have Kristaps Porzingis, they need Jason Tatum to step up and be the player that everyone believes that he can be. And typically, Tatum has stepped up. For some reason in some of these road games. He hasn't played well at home at all, but he did go down there in Indiana and he had some better games, than he had at home versus them. So looking at that, it's like, okay, well, maybe Tatum will pick up some of that slack. But one thing Tatum can account for is the rim protection of Kristaps Porzingis. Those lob guys have been very, very uncomfortable around the rim. So that's something to consider. And he's gotten some big blocks on momentum changing dunks that they probably would have had. Now, again, Porzingis provides a look that other than Victor Wembanyama, and sometimes Chet Holmgren, but really I'm speaking specifically to Victor Wembanyama just as far as a presence. And I ain't talking about just block shots. I'm talking about how much everything is changed in the paint with what you want to shoot. Kristaps Porzingis has that element to his game as well. And if you take that away from the Boston Celtics, it does uh, put a damper in their defensive identity. Now, everybody else still going to defend on the floor, but he is just, having Porzingis back there almost makes them unbeatable in a 7-game series. So we'll see how Dallas creeps back in, or if they do, because Big Al Horford is more than capable of still just playing well enough. He's capable of going on the road, making 6 or 7 threes, coming up with big blocks, big defensive plays, and them closing it out. But if you're going to play Luke Cornett and those guys, that's very different than, Porzingis been out there on the floor. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.